stations, good evening. This is W1HQL for the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Club weekly informational net. As you all know, the purpose of this net is to gather club members and other radio operators from the amateur community and talk about ham-related information, get on the air, chat, and have a good time. All radio amateurs are invited to participate in this net, and you don't need to be a member of the club to check into the net either. This net operates at 7:30 p.m. immediately following the American Red Cross's emergency practice net on the Cutler Bay repeater 146.865 from 7 to 7:30 p.m. The Everglades Amateur Radio Club is an ARRL Special Services Club. We offer ham licensing testing, yearly field day operations, and other ham-related activities. Our club is associated with the City of Homestead's Emergency Operations Center, the American Red Cross, and Miami-Dade Races Aries, and will assist in emergency communications support if requested. Our club meetings occur the second Friday of each month, and our next meeting will be this upcoming Friday, and that'll be at the John D. Campbell Agricultural Center at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. over at the John D. Campbell Agricultural Center, and that address is 18710 Southwest 288th Street. Again, my call sign is W1HQL, and my name is Steve. I'm your president for the club, and I'm located here in Homestead. So let's start taking some check-ins, and we'll go over the information that we got for you.
Good evening, Steve. This is Kilo November 4, Delta Hotel Whiskey, David from Doral. No traffic.
Kilo November 4, Kilo Sierra Victor, Fred and Homestead, no traffic. And Steve, what happened to your audio?
I don't know. Nothing's changed.
KN4 SFM, Howard.
KD4, Papa, Hotel. 4 Uniform Tango Lima, Ron, South Miami, no traffic.
Kilo India 4, Victor Echo Yankee Lewis, and I do have some traffic.
Okay, let's take a pause there. I'm going to acknowledge Kilo November 4 Delta Hotel Whiskey. I've got Kilo November 4 Kilo Sierra Victor, Kilo November 4 Sierra Fox November, and I got Kilo Bravo 4 Papa Hotel, K4 UTL Run, and of course you Lewis, Kilo India 4 Victor Echo Yankee. Go ahead with your traffic, sir.
Okay, sir, thank you. I got some relays. The first one is Alberto, Whiskey 4 Alpha Sierra, Whiskey 4 Alpha Sierra, followed by KT4 CSK, Kilo Charlie 4 Charlie Sierra Kilo, Eddie. Break. The next one is Kilo November 4 Lima Tango Zulu, Kilo November 4 Lima Tango Zulu, Julian. The next one is Kilo Papa 4 Kilo Delta, Kilo Papa 4 Kilo Delta, Eric. And last but not least, our club vice president Frank, AK4.
Hey, we've got Whiskey 4 Alpha Sierra, Kilo Charlie 4 Charlie Sierra Kilo November 4 Lima Tango Zulu, Kilo Papa 4 Kilo Delta, and Alpha Kilo 4 Fox Uniform. All good?
All good, Steve. Thank you much.
All right, perfect. Fred, if you're still on the line, what's up with the audio?
KN4, KSV. I don't know, Steve. It's all broken up. You on the D104 maybe?
No, I'm on my Heil headset. It's coming in all broken up.
Well, there's no bottom, there's no mid-range. It just sounds different than what you used to sound like. So, sorry about that. I just brought it up.
You know, you're probably right. I was screwing around with some of the audio settings, and I probably didn't bring them back to the original. I was like monitoring my own voice to see what it sounded like. I won't bother doing it now, but I'll after the net, I'll put it back to the settings that I had for FM.
Alrighty, roger that. Yeah, no offense, Steve, but well, to be honest with you, it really sounds bad. So. All right, KN4, KSV, clear. Good to hear you again.
Yeah, you too, buddy. You too. Thanks for chiming in there and helping me out with that. folks, what we do have in store for you, let me get rid of this here. Well, we've got a birthday celebration coming up. We also have, and it's going to be a contest, we have a reversed polarity sunspot, and that is significant of one of our transition into a new solar cycle and a 2-meter propagation experiment. So a couple of interesting things, and then once we conclude that, we're going to continue on the ICS 100C course. One of the components in it, where we're going to just talk about a little mini disaster and try to get input from you folks that are out there listening in that want to participate. And then at the Friday meeting, we will also be discussing having a class on a Saturday morning or a Saturday afternoon. It's 6 hours, at the most 6 hours. We'll probably trim it down to 4. Depending on the class size, and we'll do the ICS 100C there over at the Agricultural Center. All right, enough gabbing. Happy birthday to Hiram Percy Maxim. For those of you that don't know who Hiram Percy Maxim is, this is the 150th anniversary of the birth of ARRL's first president and co-founder, who was born on September the 2nd. Well, it's certainly not September the 2nd yet, but it's a big event. So ARRL will hold an operating event this summer to celebrate, and they've got it HPM, Hiram Percy Maxim. We'll call him HPM. That's a mouthful. For his legacy from August 31st until September the 8th. The event goal is straightforward. Contact as many participating stations as possible. W18W and all ARRL members will append their call sign for the contest to stroke 150. So it'll be Whiskey 1 Hotel Quebec Lima stroke 150. Whatever your call sign is, stroke 150. During the event, participating stations will exchange a signal report and their ARRL section. DX stations will also send a signal report, and that's the word DX. And those taking part may also use the amateur radio bands, all the amateur radio bands excluding 60, 30, 17, and 12 meters. So 60, great historical event for ARRL and our father of ham radio. You're listening to the W4SV Everglades Amateur Radio Club net. Let's take some more chickens.
Kilo 4, Sierra, November, Bravo, Jose, no traffic.
Kilo Mike 4.
I got the Kilo Mike 4. I know who this is, but try it again.
Kilo Mike 4, November, Alpha Yankee. No traffic.
We got you. Any more chickens? You heard. If you've looked at the sun lately, and I hope you haven't, there's a reversed polarity sunspot traversing across the sun. A reversed polarity sunspot broken through the surface of the sun the second time this month this has happened. The latest backwards sunspot could mark the official beginning of the new solar cycle 25. If you want to know more about the solar cycle and sunspots and all that good stuff and CMEs and all that stuff that comes spitting at you from outer space, go to spaceweather.com. Great website. You learn a lot from that one. Spaceweather.com, and you can learn about reverse polarity sunspots.
Hello, for Zulu, Romeo Hotel, Steve and West Kendall checking in.
Hi, Steve. How's it going? Can you give me the call sign again? You came in broken.
04 Zulu, Romeo Hotel, Kilo 4 Zulu, Romeo Hotel.
Okay, sir. We got you down. Kilo 4 Romeo Zulu Hotel. And right at the beginning of your transmission, you may have programmed a courtesy tone in there, because
back again. I got to go in and turn it off. Thank you. Have a good evening. This is K4ZRH and West Kendall clear.
All right, Steve. Thank you. Take care. 7-3. Any additional check-ins?
Number 4, Romeo Golf Fox, Eric in West Kendall.
Hey, Eric. How's it going, man? I cut you out. I'm sorry. When I was just asking for more check-ins, and when I let go of the mic, I heard you in there. Can I give it to me again?
Okay, Steve, this is Kilo, November 4, Romeo Golf Fox, Eric.
All right, Kilo November 4, Romeo Golf what?
Romeo Golf Fox, as in Foxtrot.
Okay, got it. Kilo November 4, Romeo Golf Fox Trot. Gotcha, Eric. Thanks, man.
Hey, Steve, General, is it available this Friday at the club meeting?
You bet. 7 o'clock. We'll be there.
Okay, 7 o'clock.
4 Sierra Lima Lima, Kim in West Kendall, no traffic, and I also have the courtesy tone. I apologize.
All right, Kim, no problem. Kim, could you give me the call sign again? Because the courtesy tone blocked you out.
4 Sierra Lima Lima, Kilo November 4, Sierra Lima Lima.
I copied Kilo November 4, Sierra Lima Lima, correct? That online ICS 100?
For HOF reference.
K4HOR, go.
They made it. Like to check in into those stations over there. I'm pretty sure that. Yeah, taking it deep. K4HOR.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. They're using the Yaesu. Just have to push it in and hold it in to defeat the INT.
Kilo Golf 4, Oscar, X-ray Oscar. Jamie, Olympia High.
Let me cut you down. Kilo Golf 4. Kilo Golf 4. Oscar, X-ray Oscar. Thank you, sir. Okay, let's take a quick pause on the check-ins and 2-meter propagation experiment. There is a gentleman by the name of Johan, and his call sign is Papa Alpha 3, Julia Echo. What's the mnemonic for M? Oh my goodness. Well, BA3JEM. Holy cow, I got a brain freeze there. And he's organizing a 2-meter propagation experiment on the 20th of this month from 1700 UTC to 1900 UTC. Just a 2-hour event from 1700 UTC to 1900 UTC. All radio amateurs from all over the world are invited to participate in this experiment. Simply is to make a QSO on 2-meter band in the mode that you like, any mode at all. Just get up on 2 meters and make a QSO. Supply the log. If you do more than one, not just one, you can send it off to him at clublog.org before August 1st. It's not a contest. It's just to have fun and give realistic reports. So it's a 2-meter band, any mode that you like, and make a contact or multiple contacts, log it down and send it over to him. If you want to learn more about this propagation experiment, you can go to the website, www.veron.nl. That's www.veron. That's VERON. November Lima. Okay, and that is all I have for you guys for news in the ham radio community. Anything that was worth talking about. Let's see. Do I want to save changes? Nope. So now we're going to talk about the ICS 100 class. Let me get to that here.
Steve, reference.
Yeah, go.
Bro, what's going on with your audio, man?
I got a second one, the bellyache about that. Yeah, I altered the, I was playing around with the radio, and I was messing around with the audio setups, and FM microphone. Hold on. I'll fix that right now.
Charlie 4, Bravo Papa. José Antonio, Kendall, no traffic.
Whiskey Charlie 4, Bravo Papa. Got you down. Thanks, Antonio.
Good evening, W1 HR. This is KC4GE. I don't know if you could copy me. Just log me in if you could. 73 for everyone in frequency. From KC4GE.
Hey, Luciano. Long time no hear. Hope you're doing okay, but we got you in the log, sir. Thank you for checking in.
Welcome, Pete. 73. I hope everybody in your whole family there, even your grandkids, are doing good. Bye.
Okay, no problem. Mikey, is this any better? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How's that?
Sounds better than it was before.
All right, and I did one last thing. I gave it a little AC boost. I don't know if that made a difference. All right, any better? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Running in the background.
Yeah, I got a fan running in the background. That's what you hear.
The benefit of the fan.
Say again?
Please try transmission with the fan turned off and see if that clears up the problem. This is K4ZRH.
All right, Steve. Fan is off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is K4ZRH clear.
All right. Did it clear up that background noise?
The fan, as far as the distortion is concerned, it may be that your equalization settings are not exactly optimal for this mode of operation. So you sound better now. Thank you very much. This is K4ZRH clear.
I know, thank you. Yeah, I still have to do some more setting. I had it set just right, but I was just experimenting the other day, and I did put back the settings as they should. All right, guys. Well, we're going to do a little activity here, and hopefully we got people hanging out that want to participate. We're going to do. I'm going to give you a scenario, and this has to do with the incident command system benefits. All right. So what you're going to do is, based on the scenario, we're going to have you present to the group, if you would, because all of us are listening in, the top 3 challenges for officials to manage the type of incident that we're talking about. And then we'll elaborate on that as we move on. So feel free to jump in there and make your comments. The first comments that should be coming from you are identifying the challenges that you as an official, if you are running the incident or you were involved with the incident, what are the biggest challenges? And you got to remember to prioritize your challenges, because we want to prevent loss of life, property, and a good recovery for the economy. We want to keep responder safety right there on the top of the list. We want to think about potential hazardous materials, things like that. So you can see you need to have, be open-minded and think about what might be going on and what your concerns would be, and identify the challenges to manage this type of incident. So let me break for a second. Let's take a couple of more check-ins, and then I'll give you the scenario. Okay, got you down, Kent. KJ4WW. All right, here we go. Continuing severe weather is causing widespread damage. There are multiple impacts in the community. Vehicle movement is constrained. Some people are stranded and are in need of assistance. There also have been impacts on communications and power, and some structures are impacted. 911 operators are receiving conflicting reports about a number of life safety needs, including some weather-related injuries and an unverified report of a structural collapse of an assisted living facility. All right? So, just think about it for a moment and then just come up on the air and name some of the challenges that, as an official, on how to manage this incident.
Identifying, verifying, one of the first to have information so you can sit there and react on and get prudent information, I think, first.
Okay, that's tough to do, yeah, so that's a big challenge because, communications is down. Cell towers, radio towers that for responding agencies and whatnot, and you need to have traffic flowing in order to get emergency equipment moving also. So, yeah, this is certainly a huge challenge at this point. The whole purpose is to mitigate, to reduce the impact to life, property, and the economy. So, life and limb. Is there anything in there that really raises a flag that may be a life limb?
Victor at the Yankee.
The second thing I probably would be worried about is the only resources you have to
Yeah, you're thinking way ahead of the game, which is good. And I got Lewis in there. Go ahead.
See, what Mike said is correct. It's good to obtain the most amount of information as possible. Based on my experience with previous hurricanes and matters of this nature, the first thing that we would do is we would dispatch units to the different locations that have flooding and problems with traffic. But the main concern from everything that you said there was the assisted living facility. You would have to dispatch fire and police out there and establish a command post nearby and start with the recovery and the search and rescue.
Exactly. Good point. Yeah, because again, life and property, and and it's unverified. So, you get police and fire rescue out there and verify and give you a report on the issue with that assisted living facility. What other kind of challenges? Remember, the first sentence, continuing severe weather is causing widespread. Lewis, you were right on it. But that widespread damage issue is certainly going to tax your resources.
Yeah, QSL in severe weather people prior, because, you're fine.
Yeah, you're right on point, Mike. You're right on point. All right, so with that said, how could ICS be used to address these challenges? Remember, we're talking about the incident command system. For instance, you're concerned about resources. How can ICS help you with that?
Victor at the Yankee.
Yeah, go ahead, Louis.
Yeah, on the other, you mentioned that the weather is severe and it keeps getting worse. I presume that it's probably a hurricane or some sort of a front. So most of the first responders are probably going to be an Alpha Bravo. So Mike keeps mentioning resources, and he's correct on that front. But since everybody's going to be an Alpha Bravo, you probably have more personnel to be able to handle the situation. When it comes to different traffic problems and different scenarios in different locations, units would have to be dispatched to ascertain what's going on and verify what's going on in the different locations. But my main concern here is I keep going back to the assisted living facility. I would dispatch units there and ascertain what happened, and it's going to escalate. If the building did collapse, it's going to have to escalate.
All right, let's say it was. You got units on scene. Okay, you finally made it there. You got the building collapsed. But you remember, we've also got traffic issues. We've got other issues going on in a widespread area of damage. Okay, trees down, again, vehicle movement is constrained. People are stranded in need of assistance. So you got all this going on. Is it possible to have more than one incident commander instead of just having one running the whole show? Could we have an incident commander taking care of, for example, the building collapse, the assisted living collapse, and a police commander in charge of the traffic situation?
India 4 Victory.
Good, listen.
Yeah, based on the scenarios that you're giving me, you're correct. I'm pretty sure there's going to be an overall incident commander, and you're correct. I mean, if you get, based on my experience with what happened with Hurricane Andrew, the incident command system's been around for 40 years, and that's what we used when I was stationed down there in the South End with her. We did have different incident commanders in different locations, especially in Saga Bay. We have building collapse, deceased people, unfortunately victims from the different buildings. But yeah, I would say that you would have an overall incident commander, and then he would delegate to different locations as needed. And if the building did collapse, then that is a major scene. They're going to have to have a command post and start rescue.
Yep, and that's the whole purpose of the ICS, exactly as you described it. It has the capability of being quite flexible and expanding and demobbing as necessary. So you're right, an overall command, what that would be called would be an area command. You'd set up an area command, and that area command would be in charge of the whole community, if you would, and making sure that he's the conductor, making sure everybody's doing what they need to do. And then you have your incident commanders for separate incidents. It can even be broken down even further, but that's getting into even more advanced incident command system. But basically, it's this whole exercise is to just show you the flexibility and that how incidences can be managed with some organ.
India 4 Victory Yankee. I agree 100%. Talking about collapse, we handled one 2 years back over here at Doral. We had the parking garage collapse at the Miami-Dade College right next to the turnpike on 41st Street. And it was a major scenario. We activated the incident command system, and we had...
When I was growing up in the emergency management field, way back when, they had what they called the wagon wheel method. And I wish I had kept that textbook, because it was actually a paperback book that had a wagon wheel on the front of it, and each spoke of the wheel was, a separate position in the incident, what we call the incident command system now. And the core of that wagon wheel was the incident commander. And you had police, fire, EMS, Department of Public Works, different agencies that were all part of that, those spokes of the wheel. And they would all report to the incident commander. So, yeah, you guys are both on point, so good job.
Kilo India 4 Victory.
Good list.
Yeah, I was just saying, but we probably doubled up when we stepped on one another there. 2 or 3 years ago, we had that building collapse over at Doral, the parking garage from Miami-Dade College that collapsed. And we had, we took it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks that we were out there with also the fire rescue and police set up a command post. And it was very intense. The search and rescue lasted for a couple of weeks.
Remember that. I sent one of our supervisors from AMR out there because, in the event they needed some non-emergent type transport. Rescue was there. They pretty much had the thing, the whole event under control, and PD was there, assisting with crowd and media and traffic control and whatnot. But I remember that incident really well. But you know what? What I don't remember is that it went on for that long. Probably because I moved on and, it became old hat. But I didn't know that incident. that it went on for quite some time.
For Victor Yankee. You know what, Steve, to tell you the truth, I don't remember how long it went for, because it was like 3 or 4 years ago, or longer. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a while. But, yeah, it lasted, I think it was 2 weeks or more. You got to remember, you had a 5-story garage that collapsed. There were a bunch of victims that were trapped inside. They had to bring construction crews to move all those slabs. Police had to handle traffic in the area and security. And fire rescue, the commander was managing the whole situation.
Remember, you know what? I think it was even longer. I think it was close to like 10 years ago, man. Because it was while I was still working for AMR.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's been a while, Steve. You're correct. But I don't think it was 10 years. Probably somewhere in between. It might have been like 6 or 7 years, something like that. But yeah, it's been a while. But let me tell you something. It was a nightmare. And unfortunately, it was the same thing as the collapse of that bridge on Southwest H Street. It was human error. I mean, when they were setting up one of the columns on one of the slabs the previous day, the crane operators had a column. And I don't know if they told anybody or not. Nobody should have gone in there and happened on H Street.
Yeah, these things usually happen because of human error. Well, just a quick war story pertaining to the incident command system. My first actual hands-on experience where when I say I was on my own, I was the incident commander. I got, you remember the storm that hit Punta Gorda? I think it was Hurricane Charles.
I'm trying to think, Steve. That was probably a while back, right?
Yeah, that was like 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. I was actually out walking the dog with the wife. I got a call from the state EOC, and they said we need ambulances over at Punta Gorda. And they needed a lot of ambulances. They said a couple of hospitals were severely damaged. One of the emergency rooms had a wall collapse. And, they're a small community. The fire station was damaged. They didn't have any response personnel. It was a devastated community. And they wanted to know how many ambulances I could get together. And, I made a couple of phone calls and got about 40 ambulances, and then we did a convoy across Alligator Alley over to Punta Gorda, and we pulled in there about midnight, and we set up an incident command post in a parking lot of an abandoned grocery store right there off the highway. And it was from that point on, everything fell into place. I mean, I don't want to say you see the training kicked in, but common sense was setting up a command post, knowing what your resources are, finding out where those resources are needed, putting together teams and sending them out, and remaining in good communication, because there was no communication. We were using simplex operation out there because nothing was working. And, I wasn't an amateur radio operator then. I wish I had been. I would have been a little bit better on the communications end of things. But, I mean, we're using UHF simplex operations, and that's relatively short range. And we were actually transporting patients 40, 50, 60 miles away from the community, because the hospitals were basically shut down, and we're evacuating folks from the hospitals. So long story short, the incident command system, it worked, and it was relatively easy to manage. And as the time went on, it expanded. Command posts, these expensive command posts started showing up. As a matter of fact, I believe Hialeah Fire Department made it there before anybody else. So that evening, or that morning, they set up their brand new multi-million-dollar command post with a telescopic antenna and got communications going and had a good command center now with leaders and officials and start planning some good search, rescue, and recovery efforts. So that was my first actual experience, hands-on experience in an organized fashion with the incident command system, and it worked. It positively impacted incident management, and it's a good process.
Kilo India 4, Victor Echo Yankee. No, I agree. What's good about the incident command system is that it sets up like a common denominator, so everybody's on the same page. That's why it's good that everybody should attend the class, so if God forbid something happens, they know what's going on.
Yep, exactly. And Friday we'll talk more about the class and see if we can get something organized and get a class going on a Saturday. The most it'll go is 6 hours, so we could do something, like from 8 to 2. I'm saying 8 to noon. I think it would have to, a lot would depend on the size of the class, but we'll get everybody certified and get their certs right then and there.
Great, Steve. Listen, I got to run. It was great. Kilo India 4, Victor Echo Yankee.
All right. Is there anybody else out there that wants to chime in on this interesting discussion of the incident command system? Nothing heard. K4HOR, thanks for your participation also, Mike. Good input. Appreciate it. You got a knack for this, buddy. All right, folks, you've been listening to the W4SPR Everglades Amateur Radio Club Net. We've been talking about the benefits of the incident command system and ran a quick scenario by you to try to determine some of the challenges that you might see during managing an incident. And next week we'll continue on with the ICS 100, and hopefully we'll have some good participation during the club meeting and getting a course organized. So with that, do we have any last-minute check-ins?
Mike Radio.
Okay, Harold, I can always count on you for making it in there. Appreciate it, man. How's things going on your end?
Pretty good. I adjusted my schedule, so I got in really late, so I'm working a little later than I normally would. So I remembered your net was going on, so I wanted to catch the tail end of it.
Hey, buddy. Well, that's good to hear you in there. All right. We'll catch you later. 7-3. Man, folks, thanks for tuning in to the Everglades Amateur Radio Club Weekly Informational Net. You've been listening to W1HQL. It's my call sign, and the club call sign is Whiskey 4 Sierra Victor India. Don't forget, meeting this coming Friday, 7 p.m. over at the John D. Campbell Agricultural Center.